Welcome back to the Pig Trail Show. It is time for our Hog Hoops report with Kevin McPherson. And Kevin, it was an exciting week for the basketball team. 2 wins. They've got the win over Kentucky and then that overtime win over Missouri. And man, that one had us all on the edge of our seats pretty much the entire game. Huge resume boost, though, for the Razorbacks going forward. What does this do for them going into potentially the postseason?
It's huge. It's the biggest week for this basketball team. And let's look at it this way. You go on the road in the SEC for the entire week, both games away from home. They were both cardiac testers, right? Close
Yeah.
games in both games, but you win both. Missouri is the resume builder, the number one resume builder, because it's a ranked team, a top 10 team,
Mhm.
a team that's steadily been in the top 25, 30 for most of the season. When you talk about the net rankings right now, mid 30s, but it's a road win against a top 75 net team, which equals quad one, but it's Arkansas's first win also against a team ranked in the net top 50. I think that makes it a quality win without any questions about that. It's the first one on the resume against a team that, if the season ended today, would earn an at-large bid to the NCAA tournament. So Arkansas's got one of those now. The Auburn win on the road in the SEC opener still counts as a quad one win. Kentucky, on the strength of being Auburn at home last night, as bad as Kentucky is this year when you look at the record, they're ranked number 76 in that today. They're a spot away. If they finish the season 75 or better, that's another quad one win for Arkansas. And let's not forget, you talked about it, but Arkansas, when you talk about resume building, they've got 3 more teams right now that are on the schedule that come into Fayetteville, all 3 of them, that are ranked right now in the net top 30. So, potentially all 3 of those games would end up being quad one games, and Arkansas controls its own destiny now. The analytics are great for this team. When you look back at the win over Kentucky, when you back at the win over Missouri, it doesn't matter how ugly it was at times. The beautiful part is the W, and Arkansas found ways. When you go back to Kentucky, Jalen Tate getting to the free throw line. Here's a guy that in the previous 5 or so games was only 8 of 15 from the line. He knocks down 2 big free throws to tie the game, and the second one to give Arkansas the lead with 4.3 seconds left. And that was after getting an offensive rebound to keep the Hogs in that game. And they win. They break a 7-year drought, an 8-game drought against Kentucky. Then against Mizzou, after the way Mizzou really manhandled Arkansas in the first game,
Yeah.
Arkansas gets Justin Smith back. This time, Mizzou's without its big man, Jeremiah Tillman. A close game, but Arkansas finds a way again after trailing at halftime, not only to build a lead, but when it went to overtime, can keep that confidence and poise together. You've won 5 in a row. Let's make it 6. That's exactly what they did. Again, free throws. If you look at the end of that in overtime, Moses Moody and Justin Smith, 4-4 there at the end, as Arkansas was able to eke out a 5-point win on the road. And now, like you said, Tara, the resume looks really good at 16-5, 8-4 in the SEC. There was a lot of firsts in there in terms of that winning streak and what they've been able to do on the road. And now the quality win that Arkansas really needed on this resume that has everything else.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, their 6th straight SEC win of the season. We'll see if they can make it 7 this week when they have Florida at home this week first, and then they go on the road at Texas A&M. So moving forward, what do you think about those 2 matchups?
Well, Florida has always been a problem for Arkansas. In fact, Arkansas hasn't beaten the Gators in the regular season in quite some time. The last time they did win was in the SEC tournament 3 seasons ago. So I think for Arkansas, getting the Gators at home, it's a chance to not only get some revenge there. They just snapped the streak against Kentucky. They're feeling good about themselves. It's a Tuesday night game, so a quick turnaround. But, I think Arkansas is in great shape here. And I think that this is another opportunity, assuming that Florida can manage to finish the season in the top 30 net, to add a quad one win. And I look for Arkansas, and I felt this way in these last few games. Even if it's a close game, I like Arkansas's chances because this team now is showing that it can not only be resilient, but part of that resiliency is improvement on defense. Yeah, they gave up a lot of threes to Kentucky and Mizzou, but I just think overall defensively, they've done what they've needed to do. We know it was a high scoring team, but Arkansas has now gotten better defensively, and they're at home. I think, this week sets up great to start out on a positive with Florida. And then you go on the road again to Texas A&M, a team that's really at the bottom of the league right now, and that's a winnable game as well.
All right, Kevin McPherson, thanks so much for your time. Looking forward to those games this week for the Razorbacks. But that's going to do it for our Hog Hoops report. We'll be back with more on the Pig Trail after the break.